this Trash Wars 96 here with another video review. This time we have from the X-Men series Warlock wave Colossus. So I was very excited to see that Colossus was going to be introduced in this wave, and the figure actually did not disappoint. Very happy with it. Going over the actual sculpt here, it's a completely new sculpt from what I know. I don't think that there's anything that's been reused, which is awesome. I'm very happy about that. I always love it when they can give you a fresh sculpt because sometimes we get reused ones quite a bit, so that's very nice. The head sculpt itself looks very good. I like it, very stern, you know, not a whole lot going on expression wise, but it fits the character's personality, so it works nicely. I do like the paint on it too. I think that the silver on the face looks good, and then they've added a more like kind of pearlescent silver for the hair, which just looks very neat. I like the combination. His body, as you can see, is very cool. There's no sculpting for the actual costume itself. It's mainly just, you know, it's just painted on details. The costume choice that they went with, I think, looks nice, but I would have much preferred like a classic Jim Lee Colossus, you know, in the 90s costume. That would have been great and would have fit. It would have fit so well with the Cyclops figure in this wave. It would have been perfect. But unfortunately, they did decide to go with this one. It's still nice, but not what I particularly wanted. The arms, as you can see, do have the sculpted line work. That's not just painted, which is great. And I do like the coloring that they went with for the metal. And then the legs do have some unique kind of pieces that are sculpted with this kind of like boot section and the bottom here with some of the details which look nice. The gauntlets they feel like they're on there pretty good, so I don't know if they're actually glued on. I think that they are glued on, but as you can see, the gauntlets are different as well, so I do like that. When, you know, I knew that this was going to be a new sculpt, but I wasn't expecting just kind of how big it was. It is much bigger than I was anticipating. I was kind of thinking, you know, it was around the same thing as like Hyperion, something like that, but it is actually much bulkier than your average mold, which I really do love. Before we go into his accessory, let's go over his articulation. It's pretty standard Marvel Legends. He has a ball-jointed head on a hinge, which can look up an insane amount and can look down a crazy amount too. So love the head articulation there. Ball hinge shoulders, pretty standard. Bicep swivel. Single hinged elbows, which is a shame. You know, wish that it could go a little bit further than that, but obviously with his bulky proportions, that's why they kept it a single hinge. The hinges on both of the elbows for mine are extremely tough, I would say. He has ball hinge wrists, which get a little hindered by the gauntlet, but not too much. You have an ab crunch, which it's weird because like that's a click, and then if you go down, it doesn't click anymore, but it does have another kind of like setting basically. So that's kind of weird. But he crunches forward quite far, and he crunches back, you know, a decent amount. Not crazy, but you know, something. Swivel at the waist, ball jointed hips, which have quite a good range. Swivel at the thighs, double hinge knees, and a swivel just under this little boot piece, and then a hinge pivoting ankle, which works very nicely. So overall, his articulation is very standard for Marvel Legends, but it's, you know, it's all not much is hindered, which is very nice. His accessory here is an interchangeable head sculpt, which looks awesome. It's obviously just another Colossus head sculpt, but with a beard, which is extremely unique. Just do this off camera real fast. And it does have a piece of hair that's kind of been flung up, which looks pretty neat. Alright. As you can see, definitely like this new head sculpt. I think it's just a really unique one. I'm not super familiar with Colossus with a beard, but I do think it's quite funny, and obviously the same way that his hair looks, you know, his beard is all metalified, basically. Very nice. Same expression. You know, when they give you two head sculpts, it would be awesome if they could do two different expressions. Unfortunately, they really just the facial hair and the hair itself are the only differences between the two head sculpts that we did receive. But they're still very nice. I do definitely like them. And obviously, the head articulation remains the same with that secondary head sculpt. So overall, this is a great figure. I mean, because it's unique. First of all, you know, it's a completely new sculpt, which is great. You get an extra accessory, which I think is quite nice. The sculpt itself is extremely bulky, so you feel like you're getting your money's worth. He comes with the most interesting Build-A-Figure piece, which is always nice. And he's Colossus. You know, he's a big X-Men character, not just size-wise, but you know, as far as fame goes. You know, he's obviously a well-known member of the X-Men team. So I definitely think that this is a great figure. I think that it's about the rarest of the wave. It's a little hard to tell. It's either Colossus or Cyclops. Colossus I was never able to find in stores. Let's see if I can focus on him. Colossus I had to purchase on on Amazon, while Cyclops I could actually find in stores, so I got very lucky with him. So I'm not quite sure which one's the rare, but they both seem to be quite rare. So I would definitely pick them up if you see them. I think that these two are the best in the series, mainly for their names. You know, they're big X-Men characters. Again, would have loved a 90s costume. It's still not going to focus. Would have loved a 90s costume for Colossus here. I think that would have been really nice and would have really tied in with some of my other X-Men figures, particularly Cyclops. But with the costume that I did pick for him, it is still quite nice, and I do like it quite a bit. So there you go. That's my video review of the Marvel Legends from the Warlock Build-A-Figure series X-Men Wave Colossus figure. Let me know what you guys think of it, and thanks so much for watching.